I'm an idiot. Got 30 minutes down the trail and realized I was gonna text Jen to let her know I was getting closer, and realized I dropped the phone somewhere. Totally cool. And I don't know if I accidentally came in the back door, because it looks like these entryways are blocked, and maybe it's just because they're unsafe. But you gotta see this. This is totally super cool before the battery runs out.
After returning to Finicky, our friend Muhammed drove us to two ancient sites, Limyra and Arykanda. Limyra was inhabited since at least the 5th century BC. The most active period of the city was under the Lycian King Perikle. A Byzantine church was built at the base of the original city wall that today is covered by a constant flow of fresh spring water. Another important structure in this area is the monumental tomb of Gaius Caesar, the adopted son of Emperor Augustus Caesar. The city, which was the center of a bishopric during the Byzantine rule, was eventually abandoned after Arab raids in the 8th and 9th centuries. Further up the hill, where the more ancient part of the city was, we found an amphitheater and more than 400 ancient Lycian rock-cut tombs.
Beautiful. A lot of old Illyrian, which means pre-Greek tombs on this beautiful hillside. You can see I had a commanding view for a funeral. You can see where there would have been a bunch more tombs. That would have been the foundation of a tomb coming up, and another one here, and this is the roof of another one, and you can see there was one here carved into the mountain, and a lot of them broken earthquakes or people pilfering them.
Vince is up there. He can't help but climb and explore, and yeah, he loves this stuff.
Next, Muhammed drove us 15 miles into the mountains to see Arykanda. The name of Arykanda means Arykanda in the Lycian language, which translates as the place next to a high rock, and this place was up high. The fact that the name of the city reflects the native language demonstrates that it's one of the oldest cities in the region.
Yeah, this is really cool. You can see the beautiful color in the mosaic, and you can see some small mosaics over there, but the really cool part is you can see original plaster on this bottom of this pillar.
Based on the finds, it's difficult to trace the history of the city to before the 5th century BC, with the major excavations not being completed. The exception is a stone axe that was found that was dated back to 1000 BC.
Look at the size of that stone. Holy mackerel. It's just impressive, the size of the stonework for these monumental tombs. Just incredible. Incredible. This must have been somebody really, really important. Wow. And you can see one tomb rested there, another tomb there, and probably a large altar in the middle. This site is so large. Would have been just unfathomable. Oh, the road just continues along the different terraces, and you can see more monumental tombs and things. You could spend 2 or 3 days up here exploring. It's kind of like the Illyrian Machu Picchu. That's really what it makes me think of. Oh, incredible. The size of the stones. Wow. Like you're enjoying the exercise. Woo. More of the stonework, incredible stonework. Just stood for this upper area is actually probably Roman enhancements, but the first tiers up above were Illyrian. And so we're coming into the theater. Wow. All right, here we are, 2,500 years ago, heading up the stairs to get my nosebleed section, because that's all I could afford. Not rich like the people who had those gigantic tombs. Okay, what aisle? Oh, aisle F, 85. Yeah, okay, here's my seat. Wow. Oh, you'd need some pretty big rock speakers to hear up here. Say something. Yeah, I can't hear the show. What did she say? Was she talking about Trump? What? Biden? What was that? No, I can hear you, but what's the show tonight? We got Elvis? Just amazing. I can't imagine having not met Muhammad and not even ever heard about this place, Arykanda. Yeah, this is incredible. Hiking up to what I think was the stadium where the folks performed. It was a smaller stadium, track and field. Here's the amphitheater down there, and here's the stadium. Wow. It was a smaller stadium. Seating was only on one side, and it was 106 meters. So the track would have gone back and forth. So a lot of archaeological sites are so ruined because of next generations building on top of it. This newer village, about 600 AD, actually moved to a different location. So because of that, a lot of the ruins were covered by detritus, debris, and everything. And up here, you can actually see what it would have looked like. You know, we see the stones now, and we think that this is what a lot of it looked like, but even the face of this was probably covered in plaster. And then the plaster, like these original plaster markings, you can see they actually plastered what looked like a stone on there to make it look more uniform and beautiful. Even though the stones themselves are fit without mortar and look beautiful, they would have had, you know, these plaster decorations, and these would have all been painted. Incredible. Yeah, another reason I think so much of this site still remains is the new town that was built is way down the valley. So nobody wanted to come up here to quarry stone like most sites were used for. And so a lot of the original stone is here. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now here, a smaller theater, I would imagine this is the forum. And it looks like the aqueduct actually ran right behind the forum. So this is the Agora, beautiful town square, a big tree in the middle. With the wind blowing and the beautiful grasses, I could just sit under that tree for a month, pondering, thinking. This is so cool. Oh my goodness. The handle of a jug, 3,000-year-old jug, 2,500-year-old jug. It's amazing. This site is so super cool. Of course, no souvenirs, get to go home. Some sites are so clean and sterile that you don't get to see these things. So here's some pottery shards. Just living evidence all over the place. Roof tiles. And here's a plate or something with part of a design on it. Painted on the outside. Some more rims of bowls and jugs from different periods. Just incredible, all over the place. What a neat site. Oh, this is so cool. So this was a small bath. So again, here's an example of the pillared floor. So these chambers over here, fire would have been lit in the other room, and fire would have come under the floor through those chambers, and the floor would have been supported on top of these round pillars. These round pillars would have been placed close enough to be able to suspend slabs of marble over the top, and then that marble floor would have been sealed and then plastered, and then they would have filled it with water, and then that hot fire coming underneath would have run through these rooms, and then the baths, each bath would have been a different temperature. So you can see the pillars, the baked clay, and then here's the floor that would have been above it. And then over here you could see where the water, this is what's incredible about the Romans and Greeks. Look what they had. Running water, plumbing, clay tubes that were all connected together to make running water for houses, and also for sewers. You can see here's the door jamb, where the door would have sat here and the door swung and scratched the floor there. Yeah, and there's the channel where the water from the bath would have run out to keep recycling the water and keep it clean into a channel in the street, and eventually ran out into a waste pool somewhere or down the mountainside into a garden. All right, here we are. So you can see this was one of the baths. So all of those pillars would have supported a lot of flooring. Of course, most of them have disintegrated. And these chambers would have carried the hot gases from the fires in under the floors, and you can see here's where the exhaust flumes would have taken the hot gases out of the from under the floor. Incredible architecture. And each of these tiles, probably the mark of the maker. Neat design. And it's interesting because he just made that with his finger. This tile wasn't even meant to be seen. It was part of the pillar under the floor. And each of these tiles have a design, maybe from whatever craftsman it came from. Again here, that's neat. Neat. Totally cool. And I don't know if I accidentally came in the back door, because it looks like these entryways are blocked, and maybe it's just because they're unsafe. But you got to see this. This is totally super cool before the battery runs out. 2,000-year-old stucco, or even older. That's incredible. Oh my goodness. You could see the colors on the wall. The greens aren't so good anymore, but you can see some of the detail. There would have been a panel with designs going along and up the wall. Oh, so neat. So neat. Here you would have had some statues, water coming down through a fountain. filling this pool.
After a few repairs on the boat, we headed west to a beautiful bay named Gokoya, but more often referred to as Powerline Bay. Here, a fellow sailor, Tony, helped me set my rigging to straighten the mast, which helps take the load off my furling mainsail. Then, it was time for some fun. The next day, I headed into the hills to explore another ancient site called Istlada.
So I've had to switch to the GoPro because crawling back here is getting pretty intense. Exploring this hillside. There's a trail, of course, that goes right past where everybody's seen, but there's so many tombs and cool things up here hidden in the hill. And you can see, here's one. So there's the sarcophagus, and then there's the lid that's probably was grave robbed or pilfered off of it. I found 2 or 3 of these. I don't know what this doesn't look like. It broke off. You can see the marks when it was made. Very crude. But I found 2 of these just like it. Like maybe it was a stand or legs or something. Some big pieces of pot. Some research on this one. So there's 2 or 3 I've seen of this. Very stylized. Bottom to the bowl or pot. So it probably tells something about the age. And then of course this. A lot of these.
Istlada was another town of ancient Lycia. The name is known only from inscriptions, and it's uncertain that's the complete name because the end of the inscription was lost. The site of the ruins are located near Antalya, where remains including Lycian tombs of the 4th century BC can be found. Roman and Byzantine structures intermingle with the more ancient structures. Very little digging and recording has been done here besides a short survey which translated the phrase where the city name comes from. Unfortunately, since there are no other historical records mentioning Istlada, it has been difficult for scientists to learn more about this city. Lost in the detritus of time, this beautiful find demonstrates the wealth and prosperity that must have existed here in order to fund such immense tombs and buildings.
Still got water in it today. So cool. Not gonna drink it though. Wow. No cement. As part of the walls stayed together for 2,500 years or more. Somebody's residence. Coming up the hill, there's another door right here. Somebody's door jammed, so it would have been just up and up and up in this small hillside metropolis. Door jammed down there. Steps here going up the hill, covered by debris from the building next to it. Another doorway. Another doorway with a massive window. Wow. Incredible. Well, you got your earlier Lycians cut all the shaped rocks and things. Early Greek culture started cutting beautiful stones, and then Romans refined that, and it's so cool. Coming up this hill, there's a awesome remains of a tomb or temple with the beautiful cut stone. Look at this size of this pillar laying in the rubble below this temple or whatever it was. Beautiful, huge cut stones. Nice. And a gigantic Illyrian tomb up there. Right there's the bay we're in. Huge pot or a storage jug. Would have been gigantic. Here, a lot can be told by the rims if you know the time period. Different rims were different styles. This looks very uniform, like made with a tool. And the pot was very thin, which meant the craftsmanship was quite high. So we're just standing up here on top. There's a door. This would have been a gigantic tomb commanding the hillside, and you can see inside the tomb where it was cut out, it was a really large tomb. Very large tomb. Of course, most of it's tumbled down the hill by now, so we're going to start heading down the hill, get back to the boat. I'm headed down to that. I want to see what that is right there. It's like an old Christian church or maybe another tomb. Late Greek, I think early Romans started facing the stone, so there was a raised portion of the stone. There's a really good example right there with the raised face, but no mortar. Amazing. This building, maybe 2,000, 2,200 years. I don't know, we'll go back and do some research, and that was a pretty important building. Arched ceiling. Beautiful. Look at that. This is a form that was lost during the medieval period.
This partially domed roof structure was the remains of a Byzantine church.
Here's one of the Illyrian tombs. So would have been early Greek language, and this one's actually still got some Greek that you can read. May have been marked over later with Latin, I'm not sure. I'm an idiot. Got 30 minutes down the trail and realized I was going to text Jen to let her know I was getting closer, and realized I dropped the phone somewhere. Oh. Now I'm just saying a little prayer in my heart that we can find it, because that was a replacement for my phone that quit working. Yeah. Oh, life's hard. Life's even harder when you're stupid sometimes, but I think we all take turns being stupid. Oh, big field, I think. On the other side of this field's where I took the last photo with it. Oh, hallelujah! Hallelujah! Found the phone. Praying mightily works. Oh, no, don't stick it in the same pocket, you idiot. Alright. So now another 35 minutes back down the mountain. This has been fun. So 20 minutes down, 20 minutes up, and then now another 35 minutes back down again. It's good exercise. Boat exercise. All right, maybe we'll see something we didn't see before. It's always serendipitous. I'm sure there's some cool thing waiting for me. Those are pretty cool. All right, just like to say thanks for coming on this grand adventure with me. Oh, we love seeing your comments and answering your questions, links to the email address, all that stuff's down below. Let's make sure we go the right way. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Let us know what we can do to make it more fun, more informational, you know, what do you want to see? We're here exploring and we want to share it with y'all. But you got to tell us what you want more of, so don't be shy. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and if you click on the little bell every time we put out a new video, you'll get the video. So yeah, thanks for coming with me, and hope you enjoyed the ride and you didn't get bored of me talking about too many pottery pieces. Well, it's just, to me, it's just incredibly fascinating and cool. So all right, catch you later. Here comes my water taxi. Oh, and she's a pretty one too.